Well. Looks like Joe Biden has himself a little documents that are not where they're supposed to be problem now, too. If you get your news from MSNBC, you'd think that St. Biden has done no wrong with headlines about the breaking story like Biden's classified documents response should shut down GOP whataboutism, and the story about Biden's classified documents make Trump look even worse. But really, those headlines mean nothing because, as far as I can tell, the only difference between Trump's document scandal and Biden's is maybe the volume of documents. Trump did seem to take a whole filing cabinet worth of documents, and we found out about Trump's immediately, but we didn't find out about Biden's at least 6 years after it actually happened. Yes, it's true that Trump resisted returning the documents and that the FBI and the National Archives agents had to go get them. And Biden's attorneys say that when the documents were found, they were willingly turned over to the National Archives. But again, those documents had been sitting in the office that Biden was given in a downtown law firm where he worked with the University of Pennsylvania as a lawyer since 2016, when he was no longer vice president. So we do not know the circumstances that led to the documents not being sent to the National Archives when they were supposed to have been all these years later. But Democrats are really keen to take Biden at his word that he had no idea those classified documents were in that office and he doesn't know how they got there. But I'm calling foul, especially since the documents were actually discovered on November 2nd, just 6 days before the midterm elections. But we're only finding out about it now. That's very interesting, don't you think? Because I think if this was nothing, we would have known about it back in November when it was actually discovered. But we didn't. We're just finding out about it now. Why? Because clearly the Democrats knew there was something there here because they didn't want this news to mess up their chances in the midterms. And they sure didn't have to worry about that. They lost the House all by themselves and barely held on to the Senate without an embarrassing document scandal. But it sure does not make Biden look innocent for withholding this information until now, does it? And then, when you consider what's in the documents found, it opens up a whole nother line of inquiry. A source told CNN that a lawyer found the classified documents when closing out the downtown D.C. office that Biden used as part of his work with the University of Pennsylvania. The lawyer saw a manila folder that was labeled personal, opened the folder, and noticed that there were classified documents inside. Oh, no. The lawyer closed the envelope and called the National Archives, the source said. But the documents include U.S. intelligence memos and briefing materials that covered topics including Ukraine, Iran, and the United Kingdom. And I'm sorry, that's the bombshell right there. I do not buy for 1 second that Joe Biden didn't know that there were classified documents amid all the personal Biden family documents, including materials about Beau Biden's funeral arrangements and condolence letters. I don't see how he could have mistaken condolence cards for classified intelligence memos on plans to foment a coup in Iran, because that's what I think those classified documents reveal. And I just don't see how you mistakenly mix those up in a file full of personal papers. No, I think the bigger scandal here is that the classified documents are some evidence of the Obama-Biden administration's imperialist plans for toppling the government of Iran, the nasty collusion to go after Julian Assange with the UK, and the clues to the coup in Ukraine in 2014. That's what I think Biden really doesn't want exposed. Not that he has his own document scandal now, but what those classified documents could potentially reveal about how some of the most critical current crises escalated to where they are now, and that it was he and his boss, Obama, who did it. Now, of course, I'm projecting my hopes and dreams onto what's in those documents because I know that Joe Biden was literally given the folder on the plans for Ukraine. And if these documents contain some of that, it would be fantastic. Would it change public sentiment about supporting this proxy war in Ukraine? I actually doubt it. But I'm not above being vindicated by an embarrassing scandal exposing the Democrats' collusion with neo-Nazis and fascists to get rid of a Russia-friendly government in Ukraine, especially since actual pictures of John McCain and Victoria Nuland shaking the hands of the fascists and giving them cookies before they massacred people in Maidan Square, that didn't do it. Alas, I don't think there will be any further investigation into these documents or any further revelations about the details therein, at least not by the DOJ. The GOP sure is going to launch an investigation into them. They're drawing up the plans right now, I bet. But they're not going to do it because they care about the Democrats' plans to topple foreign governments, because they like toppling foreign governments, too, that refuse to be subject to U.S. hegemony. They're just looking to repay the Biden administration for investigations into Trump. But if they end up being the ones to uncover the details of the Obama-Biden administration's imperialist plans that we're now paying the price for, let me make sure that I have enough popcorn. Follow Luke Mon Nation on patreon.com/LukeMonNation for lots of great content.
And those are today's talking points, and you are listening to By Any Means Necessary on Radio Sputnik in Washington, D.C. I'm your host, Sean Blackman, here with Jackie Luqman, and as always, we're your guide for connecting the political, social, and economic movement shaping the world around us.
By any means necessary.